Hello everyone, welcome to LexTalk World Talk Show presented by ClickAway Creators. Today we have Mr. Aaron Spira with us. He is Vice President and Deputy General Counsel at Whirlpool Corporation's USA. Thank you so much for joining us, Aaron. We are pleased to have you with us today.
Thanks for having me. It's great to join you.
Amazing. So Aaron, as you know, first of all, we would like to have a quick brief about yourself, your personal and professional journey so far as a legal professional, and then we will start with the questionnaires.
Sure. So I began my professional legal career in Chicago, working for two different law firms, primarily with a commercial litigation practice and a little bit of trademark counseling as well. And then realized that I really wanted to have an opportunity to truly partner with with my clients and with my business partners, and that the traditional law firm model just created some impediments to be able to do that. So I pivoted my career and decided to focus on an in-house career, and was fortunate to join Whirlpool Corporation, which is founded and still based in Benton Harbor, Michigan, just in the southwest corner of Michigan, and started my career as a legal counsel, supporting our U.S. sales organization with distribution and antitrust counseling and support, and have taken on increasing roles over my career. Prior to my current role, I served as the general counsel for our North America region, which is the largest business unit we have, a little over $12 billion annually in revenue. And currently I'm serving in a global role for our entire enterprise, managing our global litigation, global M&A and corporate strategy, as well as global procurement legal teams. So it's been a great opportunity over the course of my career to work in a variety of different areas. And there's been a lot of change and new opportunities it's been really exciting over the tenure.
Fantastic. So I think you wanted to move over and work in-house, and after having a great experience working with clients closely in a law firm. So the journey and the transition has been great so far. Talking about the current situation, and everybody is kind of impacted with COVID right now, I would like to ask you how the consumer goods sector has been impacted by COVID-19 in the United States.
Sure, it's a great question. Obviously very timely as we're still in the heart of working our way through this unfortunate pandemic. And I'll add to my remarks in the sense that I've also had the privilege and honor in the recent tenure here serving as the global interim head of our environmental health, safety, and sustainability team. So I can bring some of that perspective as well. But when for our team in the US, we were fortunate in the sense that we saw what was happening first in Asia and then in Europe, and had a little more time to plan and anticipate some of the changes and struggles that would come our way. There are really a few key areas that impacted ultimately the ability to provide product to the end use consumer where they need to buy it and purchase it. The first being our supply chain, which is global in structure and network, and making sure that that supply chain could function, that we had flexibility if a particular country or region was impaired in its ability to supply key components or raw materials. And of course, that those partners of ours were able to protect and keep their own employees healthy and safe. And then you had our own manufacturing facilities where we needed to implement a different way of doing business. The social distancing requirements, among other things, required a different pace of production, a different optimization from our factories, and we had to account for that. We're very proud of the fact that in the US, while doing a great job of protecting our employees at all of our various US manufacturing facilities, we were able to keep our plants running through the second quarter, so from March all the way through. And that has been a key to enable us to meet the needs and demands of our consumers. And sort of continuing on the journey, you then have retailers who are going through their own struggles, both in terms of different state and local regulatory requirements about when they can be open, if they can be open, as well as their own sort of financial health and concerns. So can they afford to buy the products and then provide them to consumers? And then ultimately having a system and procedure to get the products delivered and installed into our consumers' homes. Unlike some other durables, you really need professional installation. So you need someone to be able to enter into your home to get the products working correctly. We were fortunate in that many of our products were deemed essential, especially in this time frame, as people needed, in particular, products like refrigerators, freezers to stock up on food, which was a key need that people had, especially as there were food shortages in different parts of the country, as well as sort of the care and well-being of people. And so our KitchenAid small appliance suite of products, the iconic stand mixer, and families that were finding themselves home together and for longer periods of time than they ever had before, being able to bake and do other things like that to really find new ways to connect and spend quality time together. So we've seen just tremendous need and response to the products that we make available and bring to consumers. The other thing that's been interesting for us is one of our core overall strategies, even prior to COVID coming into effect, was to reach our consumers in the way that they want to access and purchase our products. And increasingly, that includes an online environment, and it includes the ability to connect directly with the manufacturer and not go through a distributor or retailer. So the COVID scenario has required us really to speed up and step up our ability to meet that need and demand. And so we've seen our online direct-to-consumer business grow tremendously. Our retailers are still a really key critical component of our business and our distribution, but we also need to be able to respond to consumers in the way they want to reach us. And increasingly, that's a direct means through our websites and portals.
Absolutely right. And I think you're absolutely right by saying that first, during the lockdown, when everybody was locked into their houses and spending more time with their families, appliances and kitchen appliances, home appliances they became an integral part of your life, because now you need them more often than ever before. And also, I think you rightly said that the supply chain needs some fixing there. And when you were working on some sort of online platforms already, that kind of got pushed a little bit more. And I think the whole world kind of realized that we need to be more on the technology base. We need to be more on the online. And we can take an example of Zoom meetings and online meetings, the one that we're doing right now. Otherwise, I would have been sitting in our office and interviewing you right there face to face. So I think we also were pushed into the corner, and we had to evolve ourselves to come up with better ideas and things that needs to go on. So the business needs to go on in any situation. And I think COVID has made us learn that very effectively.
And I think just building on that, when you put your consumer front and center and make sure that the way you're doing your work and the problems you're trying to solve are to meet their needs and wants, that generally drives you to good answers and results. And that's sort of our mindset and our focus and our approach. And that has ensured that we were investing in the online D2C approach earlier, and that we were able and capable to respond in this really unplanned, hopefully once in a lifetime type situation. But it was sort of really putting the consumer front and center and driving all of our planning and strategy that has enabled that.
Absolutely. When a consumer see that kind of an intent from a company, they become even more loyal than before. So they understand that the brand, that the company is trying their level best to even service in such situation. And consumers are always happy to see that the company is going and over an extra mile to help them and support them in such pandemic times. I think that really makes a lot of sense. And moving ahead with my next question, Aaron, I would like to ask you, how can legal departments and GCs obtain and maintain a role as a strategic partner to the business and not be seen just as a cost-effective provider of legal services?
Well, thanks for the question. It's a great one. I have seen over the course of my career a change and transformation from the older model of a service that's reliant on your technical expertise, and you answer a singular presented question or work on a singular project, to truly being part of a business solution where you bring legal tools and ideas to help solve that solution. And I will just say personally, I think that change and progression has made my career, and I think my colleagues' careers, all the richer and more rewarding when you really get to know the business that you're supporting and you're a valued member of that team, and you can bring solutions, sometimes with pure legal lens, but oftentimes a broader and more diverse perspective, and you are accountable and see the impact and results that that drives. That's, I think, where the real excitement and benefit from the work come from. And I've had the benefit of experiencing that as a junior member of the law department on a particular project. So if rather than just work, say, on a sales agreement, really helping develop an overall strategy for how to engage with that retailer and how to make sure our brands and our products are presented in the right way and in a way that's meaningful to consumers, to serving as a full member of the executive leadership team for an entire region and having accountability across the board to make sure that that business delivers on all elements, and including not just the bottom line, but our people and future development of products and innovation, to also having an opportunity to serve as a leader for the law department, which is a business division unto itself. And so making sure that we're running responsibly and that we have the capabilities to meet the full and the future needs really of what our company is facing. For example, if we were not thinking as a full business participant, we may have missed some of the changes in privacy and data security and not had the team resource to be able to work and handle those. But because we were working with our IT colleagues and our marketing colleagues and our sales colleagues, we knew what our strategy was. We were part of creating it, and thus we've evolved even our technical skills over the last few years to make sure that we're ready to meet the changing business environment on a going forward basis.
Yes, that absolutely makes sense. Talking about the legal professionals these days, especially working the one who are serving in-house, I think it makes a lot of sense if you become an integral part of your company's overall business. So if you know the operations, if you know the sales, the marketing, you will be able to strategize better, help them with better tools, legal tools, and it will really make them give them great benefits while serving the consumer overall. I think it really makes sense, and that's where the entire legal industry is trying to go and trying to make that change overall. Now, I would like to know, in a high demand, reduced resource environment, what can law department do to improve operations to continue to deliver strong outcomes and results?
Yeah, I think every in-house law department has probably been encountering increased demands on our time and participation. Frankly, looking back to our last discussion topic, if we're good at that, if we really are business partners, the demand for our services and our people is only going to go up. At the same point, everyone is facing uncertain economic times, and so we all need to do our part to be responsible stewards of the company's resources. And sometimes that's staying flat, sometimes that's even reducing, but still trying to deliver the full value. So one of the approaches that we have found really impactful and productive is to bring the continuous improvement approach into our work. It has its origins in lean manufacturing and an operations plant type of approach, but increasingly it's finding its way into corporate office environments. And we've been able to implement and bring it through our legal team, globally speaking. And it's driven some incredible results and had great impact. One of the primary things is it provides an approach and means for every member of the law department to bring ideas forward for improvement. So it's incredibly empowering and engaging to allow everyone to have a full voice and a sense of accountability for how they can make things better. Sometimes they're relatively small changes. Other times they're quite massive and lead to really significant bottom line savings. But we've applied this approach to our work and our litigation team and our corporate governance team and our transactions team, and we're finding real change and progression across the board and all of those groups. When we started, there was certainly some resistance with it. I've talked about how sometimes lawyers view their work as more an art form than a science, and so any sense of trying to have some standard or structure to how we do it sort of threaten that sense of creativity. And what's been interesting through our work is that we've actually found it is driving a better bottom line result. It is leading to real cost savings and efficiency improvements, but it's actually making people feel like they have more freedom to develop and change and be creative. But the upside is that we're applying those improvements to a broader group of people. So there's greater impact with every improvement that we're able to make. It's not just one person, but it's 100 people or 200 across the board. And that's where you really see a differentiated result when you can have that kind of scale.
Absolutely. And you also make the employees feel more connected with the business by doing that, by taking their suggestions, by having continuous improvement plan. You're taking suggestions from everyone and then implementing them. So they also feel more connected with the business than ever before. So I think you rightly said this. Yeah.
Yeah, the people closest to the work often have some of the best ideas of what should be done differently or how it could be improved. And too often when you ask someone why they're doing things a certain way, one, they know it's not the best way. And two, they say, well, it's the way we've always done it. That's a terrible answer. And you never want people to accept that. If it's the best way, great, continue to do it. But if you know it's not working well and you have ideas to do it better, let's come up with a system and process for you to feel like you have a voice and can participate and really help make it better for all of us. So we can, again, really contribute to the bottom line and drive a better result in the quality of the work that we're doing.
Absolutely. This also helps an organization to create leaders for tomorrow, for the future, because then when they realize that their ideas and their suggestions have been are getting counted and are getting considered and they are moving ahead, they really feel connected and they really want to be on the next level tomorrow and helping others also to improve their work and improve their ideas and processes and the protocols that they're working with. I think you really nailed it, and that's a very good question, as I said in the beginning. I would like to move ahead, and since we are also talking about leaders for tomorrow, I would like to talk about the young legal professionals or maybe law students. For them, I would like to ask you, I mean, you have been in the legal industry for quite some time. What are those 3 core values that you truly believe in and that you would like to suggest to the young legal professionals as well?
Sure. I'm fortunate to be part of a company that really values individual team members and people's development and helping people reach their full potential. So I've had some great teachers and mentors over the years to focus on this area. And for me personally, it's an area that I spend a tremendous amount of time and focus. I think it's one of the most important things a team or department leader can do is to really focus on the development and growth of team members. 3 areas that I would highlight. One is be very thoughtful and aware of doing things the right way, conducting yourself with high integrity, holding your colleagues to that high standard is really important. And it's amazing how long it takes to build a solid reputation and how quickly you can erode that by just 1 or 2 mistakes. And most of us work in high pressure, stressful environments where there's a lot of judgment calls, a lot of different ways to resolve problems. And, you could always try and find an excuse of why you took a shortcut or did things, justify why you did things in a certain way. But at the end of the day, sort of all you have is your name and your reputation and the company's name and reputation. And so that's the foundation. Everything else is built off of that. And so one of our former leaders used to talk about how, as the sign of whether or not you have integrity is, what you do, how you conduct yourself when no one else is watching. So you could get away with it if you did it the wrong way, but are you still committed to do it with value and integrity? And so again, I just think that's foundational to everything else that one can do in their career. A second foundation piece is transparency and communication. Both as a leader, communicating clearly and making sure that your team really understands not just the what we're doing, but the why and the how, so that there's a true sense of ownership and full buy-in, and everyone is really focused and driving in the same direction. You just drive a differentiated result and impact when everyone's going in that same direction. But as importantly is the ability to listen and to hear feedback and differing ideas, and to create an environment, a space where people, a culture where people feel comfortable voicing a different opinion, where they can say, hey, I understand this is what you say you want to do, but have you thought about this? Have you considered that? Maybe you're not aware of this. And being humble enough and open enough to take in those ideas and follow them. We within my team, we have sort of a philosophy and approach of best idea wins. Doesn't matter your level of seniority or your title. It's the idea that is what drives the actions. And it takes time and intention to create a culture where people are willing to speak up and voice difference. But it's really critical to driving and having the long-term results and cohesion that I think are so important. And then the final thing I would say is accountability. Both taking personal accountability to deliver on the results and outcomes that you commit to, and that you hold your colleagues and your partners to the same. And certainly if you need help, if things aren't going right, you speak up and you get that assistance to get things back on track. But it's not about sort of at the end of the day coming up with excuses for why something didn't get done or didn't happen. That all of us take a real personal sense of ownership, that if we say we're going to get something done or we're going to work on something, that we see it through and make sure that it happens. So to me, integrity, reputation, transparency, communication, and accountability are really bedrock principles that will serve both young and more seasoned attorneys well throughout their careers.
Absolutely. So all those young legal professionals and seasoned attorneys, make sure that you make note of that and start following it. It is easier said but difficult done. I'm sure you would agree with me, Aaron, that these are things that will take time and discipline to be able to follow. But once you start following them, and it becomes a culture in a company, that really helps you getting better results in a longer time.
Yeah, I think especially if you're earlier in your career, a junior member of the law department, these can be hard things to work on, and they're not always intuitive or just happen the first time. So finding people you respect that have maybe been through the ropes a few times and seek their advice and counsel. Start these conversations, ask them how they've addressed these things, listen to the stories of what they've been through, and distill from that how to leverage those experiences and apply them to yourself going forward. People in the more senior parts of the department love to sort of look back and reflect on what they've been through and how they've gotten there. So as a younger person in the department, take advantage of that and seek sort of learn from the mistakes of others, and really apply sort of the best approaches and experiences for yourself going forward.
Absolutely right. I always say it's good to learn from your mistakes, but it's great to learn from mistakes made by others. That's how you can save on a lot of time and get a lot of learning so quickly and implement that. So I think with that, we come to the end of this session, Aaron, and thank you so much for sharing such great insights with us. I'm sure a lot of our viewers would be making notes out of this video and will start implementing those great ideas. With that, for our viewers, if you like this interview with Aaron, please like and share this video. Also subscribe to our channel, Clickaway Creators, to have more coming from the leaders. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great day.